Hey, what's going on YouTube? HyperDark19 here bringing you my analysis of the this is for real, the established September 2010 banned and restricted list. So, yeah, if you watched my prediction videos, you won't be too shocked at most of these because actually my predictions proved to be surprisingly accurate for my first ban list predictions ever. So, yeah, and this ban list let me just preface this whole thing by saying that this ban list made me extremely happy. I hope it makes you happy too. I was ecstatic when I found out that this was the ban list. This is going to be a very, very interesting format that we're going into. So without further ado, I'll get right to the list. I'll start with the newly banned cards. First off, if you've seen my videos, if you recall, I called Fishborg Blaster and Mindmaster, the two level 1 tuners, would be banned, and I was correct. Fishborg and Mindmaster are now at 0. It's understandable for both of them. Mindmaster makes FTKs possible, not only for Psychics, but with Exodia, and that's no fun to play against. And Fishborg Blaster, it's pretty much the substitute of Psychics, and Fishborg Blaster it's just an infinitely usable tuner. There's so many different ways you can abuse it, so it was just not worth to keep it in the game anymore. So they banned it. Next up, Giant Trunade is banned. I was debating whether or not this would be possible, and I hypothesized that if they brought Heavy Storm back, they would ban Giant Trunade. But I'll get to that later. Giant Trunade is banned as of now. As well, there's 4 cards on the ban list, pretty hefty this time. Royal Oppression has been banned. Now this shocked me, and it's really the only card on the list that I disagree with. Oppression at 1, I can see why at 2 it would be put to 1, but at 1 I feel like it was a necessary counter to the meta and all the special summoning shenanigans that can be pulled off with a lot of decks, so I think that Royal Oppression gone will kind of hurt a lot of anti-meta players. But when you see the rest of this list, you might not think it's too bad. So I don't know. We'll see. Now on the limited list, the first card up, brace yourselves because I'm not lying. This is true. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, has come off the ban list and is now limited. The original Chaos Monster. He's an unbelievable card. It was an unbelievable card back in the day. Is still not unbelievable today, but still pretty solid as long as we still have priority. He can win a lot of games. He kills Tengu like nobody's business. So yeah, Blackluster Soldier is back. So along with the other cards in this list, we may be looking at a Chaos format. Well, not a Saki Chaos format, but a Twilight format where Lightsworn Twilight decks may rule, but I'll get to that later on. Next up, Legendary Six Samurai, Shien. The Shien Synchro has been limited to 1. This really puts a hurting on Samurais because that's pretty much their ace card, and it's a very good one at that. At 3, it was ridiculous, and therefore the Samurai deck is ridiculous. Now that they only have... I thought that it might go to 2. I never in my wildest dreams did I think it would go to 1. So like I said, really hurts the Samurai deck, makes them really, really have to think about when they play that one Shien, because if you destroy it, that's it, game over for them. Well, not game over, but I mean, you know what I mean, no more Shien. TG Hyper Librarian, limited to 1, we all saw this coming. It's a really awesome card, even broken maybe. Nobody really will complain about it being limited to 1 in my opinion because nobody really played more than 1 in their deck anyway. However, Formula Synchron has also been limited to 1. I thought it might go to 2, but it's at 1 now. What can I say? Hyper Librarian's partner in crime. Formula has been abused in tons and tons of decks. Plants, Formula Monarchs, Psychics, you name it. It's been using Formula. So now that Formula has hit the limited list, expect its usage to go down a whole lot because if you only have 1 formula, there's really no point in going for shenanigans with it, especially with some of the other cards on this list. So formula really got hurt this format. This new list. Debris Dragon also now limited to 1, as well as Lone Fire Blossom. These two are partners in crime when it comes to the plant engine. and those two both being limited to 1 really decimates the Plant Engine. The only way they could have made it worse was maybe banning Dandelion, but because Dandelion is better than both those cards. I mean, Dandelion's a stupid card, let's just say it. But yeah, Lone Fire and Debris being at 1 really hurts the Plant deck, puts a severe hurting on its consistency, and it's questionable whether or not they'll be able to recover. If they do, they'll probably still be a good deck, just not a ridiculous deck like they have been. So we'll see. Tengu didn't get hit this list, so we're still going to have Tengus around. I pretty much called that. But without some of the sacky combos, like with the Plant Engine, Tengu may not prove to be as popular. Next up, I said Giant Trunade was banned, and I said there was only one reason that was going to happen, and it turned out I'm right. Heavy Storm, after a long absence, is back in the game. This really is going to change the way we play the game right now, because pretty much Heavy Storm at 1, Heavy Storm back says goodbye to the back row format. No more will people be able to just set 4 or 5 and say go. They'll really have to be worried about that Heavy Storm sweeping away all their advantage that they've just tried to create. So either expect people to start main decking Starlight Roads and My Body as a Shield like crazy, or Stardust Dragon's usage to go up, or people just playing less back rows. From now on, people are probably just going to set 2 or maybe 3 if they're feeling lucky at a time, because they're going to be really worried about that Heavy Storm if they don't have some kind of protection. Primal Seed has been limited to 1. I know everybody's saying, what the heck is Primal Seed? It's a spell card that was supposed to combo with Blackluster Soldier and Chaos Emperor Dragon, in that when you activate it and you control one of them, you can return 2 removed from play cards, any kind of card, monster, spell, trap, whatever, from your removed from play zone to your hand. Pretty much the monsters you use to summon them, you get them back. I really don't see the need for this, because it's only Blackluster Soldier and he's only at 1. So it was just a preemptive move by Konami to prevent any kind of stupid combos from going off in a remarkable act of foresight, in my opinion. So I don't think it really needed to happen, but okay, I can see why it happened. Also, the Samurais get another hit with Shien's Smoke Signal being limited to 1. Shocking, I know. That card, Shien's Smoke Signal, was pretty much what made the Samurai deck so consistent. Otherwise, they just have, they have their gateway. They still have their gateway. They still have Six Samurai United. They still have reinforcements of the army. But like I said, Six Samurais got severely hurt by this ban list. So expect their usage to either decline or them to stick around and just be a pretty good deck, not a sacky awesome deck. So yeah, that's that. Last but not least on the limited list, Pot of Avarice. We all saw this coming. It was being abused way, way, way too much, and they hit it to 1. Now, that's going to hurt a lot of people. Most of the meta decks that I can think of, except maybe Gravekeepers, spam Pot of Avarice out the butt, so it's really going to put a hurt on any deck's consistency. I know I played 2 Pot of Avarice in every deck I ran, so I'm going to have to find some way to change it up, not mill so much. People are going to be worried about that milling and maybe not use Rykos or Lightsworn, maybe not splice Lightsworns in so much everywhere. All right, that's it for the limited list. Now the new semi-limited list. Summoner Monk went from 1 to 2. I predicted this as well. Summoner Monk it's a pretty good card. With the era of Exceeds coming, it just gets better. But at 2, I don't think it's really going to hurt anything. You have to discard a spell card in order to use its effect, which, in my opinion, minuses you more often than not, even if you do get an Exceed out of it. So I think Summoner Monk is a reasonable card to go to 2. It's a good card. It's not an awesome card, just a good card for Exceeds. Good piece of support. Tragiota goes from being unlimited to 2. I really didn't see this coming, but I can see why they did it, because it makes such a good combo with the Exceed monsters, because it can change its level to whatever. I didn't think of that combo, but I can understand why they did it. Shockingly, speaking of Lightsworn, Lightsworn people are going to be very happy, because Necrogardna has gone from 1 to 2, something I never thought would happen again. With Necrogardna at 2, it makes Lightsworn much more consistent, well, not consistent, but it's taking them back to the point they might have been at had a lot of their cards not been hit recently, so maybe it will help make them competitive again. We'll see. Necrogardna 2 opens up doors for all kinds of shenanigans. Dulorn, Tiger King of the Ice Barrier Synchro Tiger guy. I don't really know. He's back to 2, or was he unlimited? I don't know. But the point is, I really don't know much about that. It hasn't done anything so far, so not concerned. Destiny Draw has gone from 1 to 2, which is really good for heroes because now they have that little bit of draw power and extra consistency that the hero deck needs to really take off, in my opinion. Swords of Revealing Light has gone from 1 to 2, which, with the advent of Heavy Storm now back in the game, I can see maybe it's not so bad. There's more spell and trap hate, as I'll reveal later on. So maybe Swords back at 2. It hasn't done anything at 1. Nobody plays Swords, so I don't know. Maybe it'll become more popular. Who knows? Mind Crush is back from 1 to 2. I don't really see why it was limited in the first place. It's not really that good of a card, in my opinion, but whatever. Those of you who love Mind Crush, it's back at 2. Congrats. Call of the Haunted has gone from 1 to 2, so now we are in a format with 1 Monster Reborn and 2 Call of the Haunteds in every deck. This is going to be really interesting, I think, to see how this plays out, because at first I was like, oh my god, this can't be happening, this is going to be ridiculous. But then with some of the other cards on this list, like Heavy Storm, I thought, you know, maybe this isn't so bad. It is a trap, it's pretty slow, not a lot of people use it anymore anyway, so maybe people will start using it again now. I don't know. Without Pot of Avarice, maybe, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. So I see I'm running out of time. I'll go through Unlimiteds really fast. Spirit Reaper from 2 to 3. Hadn't really done anything at 2. Back to 3. It's a solid card. Good for Spirit Reaper. Overload Fusion is from 2 to 3. Like I said, but Spirit Reaper hasn't done anything for a long time. So back at 3. It looks like they're trying, and Megamorph is back at 3. Seems like they're trying to encourage Power Bond, Cyber Dragon, OTK again, Chimeratech maybe. We'll see if anybody takes advantage of that. Gravity Bind is at 3 from 1 for the longest time. Now this is purely because the Exceed monsters are coming out, and since they don't have levels, they can get around Gravity Bind while you're still playing it. So you can lock down your opponent's attacks and play your Exceed monsters to attack over Gravity Bind. I can see why they did this. It's to promote the Exceed monsters, so I don't know. I don't know what kind of impact it'll have on the game, but we'll see. Icarus Attack is back at 3 from 2. They gave Blackwings a little love, finally. So expect Blackwings to get a little bit better with their Icarus Attacks back at 3. Now, the 2 cards that are unlimited now that are really game-changing. Mystical Space Typhoon is now at 3. We have a format with Heavy Storm and 3 MSTs. It's the opposite of last format. This is going to be the no back row format. Nobody's going to want to play spells and traps. It's going to be really fun, folks. So, warning is a thing of warning and Mirror Force, Torrential, and all of them are a thing of the past. So, buckle up. It's going to be fun. And then, last but not least, Judgment Dragon is back at 3. Lightsworns are getting a little love as well. It promotes the Twilight thing that this list seems to have going with Blackluster Soldier and whatnot. So, and Necrogardnas, you know. We'll see if that does anything. I personally don't think Lightsworns will make that huge of a comeback. They might see a little more play, but we'll see. I think it certainly gives them the power that they lost back. So in summary, this list is really awesome, I think. Hurts a lot of meta decks, hurts a lot of the right meta decks, boosts a lot of decks that have been weaker. So this next format is going to be really, really fun and interesting to try to. I have no idea what I'm going to play next format. I'm trying to figure it out as I go along, but it's going to be really interesting. I think this list will promote a lot of innovation that we haven't seen for a while in the game, and the back row format is no more thanks to Heavy Storm and 3 MSTs. So this is HyperDark19 signing out. Enjoy the new ban list, and peace out.